Everyone has a story, and so does everything, antique, vintage, or curio.
I've seen only a very few of them, usually in top collections or in auctions. It's not common to find them online or things of that nature.
Like, we've had collections that have sold for, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Technological innovations, cultural significance, personal memories. What is it that gives each of these unique items their timeless quality?
Can't find these anywhere. No.
Join us as we blow off the dust and breathe new life into the past and the curious. Today on The Past and the Curious, we look at a first edition set of the Century Dictionary, a stuffed dinosaur from an iconic toy company, and a chamber pot from the RMS Ascania. Garth examines a chamber pot that is one of the existing artifacts from the ocean liner RMS Ascania.
You know this is different right off. Exceptional condition for the time period.
Bridget cozies up to Tysus, the adorable stuffed dinosaur created by Steiff.
It is one of the cutest stuffed animals from the time period that I've ever come across.
Case cracks open a first edition set of the Century Dictionary.
They're about 10 inches wide, 3 inches thick, and 13 inches tall. The information, the illustrations on the inside, they were beautiful. You certainly wouldn't want to be carrying all 6 a long, long ways.
My name is Charlene Younger, and today I've brought in a set of Century Dictionaries. I love antiques to start with, and when I first saw them, they just stood right out to me. The binding, the leather work, just loved being able to put them on the tables and flip through them, look at the intricate detail of the drawings that are in there as well.
Crafted under the visionary leadership of linguist William Dwight Whitney, the Century Dictionary marked a significant innovation in language reference works. Published by the Century Company between 1889 and 1891, this 6-volume set represented an unprecedented leap in documenting American English. Whitney, a distinguished translator of Sanskrit Hindu scriptures, led the compilation of a dictionary that embraced the full spectrum of American English. His scholarly approach ensured the inclusion of slang, colloquialisms, and informal expressions, offering an authentic reflection of the language as it was spoken. This approach provided a unique roadmap to the everyday language of the time. Whitney's expertise in linguistics and his translation work of Sanskrit Hindu sacred texts played a crucial role in shaping this expansive work. His direction resulted in a rich collection of words, definitions, etymologies, and illustrative quotations. Today, the original volumes of the Century Dictionary are treasured by collectors and language enthusiasts, a testament to Whitney's exhaustive efforts and his team's commitment to capturing the dynamism of the American English language.
Well, thanks for coming on today, Charlene. What did you bring us today?
This set of Century Dictionaries, I've got 4 out of a set of 6. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the other 2 while I was cleaning, but they've been just a great source of pleasure to me over the years. Mostly they're just aesthetically pleasing to me, and they're a great conversation piece as well, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Definitely. What really stood out about them?
Well, I like just the size of them for starters, because they're very big. And the look of them, like, there's a lot of detail on the cover and the sides and the binding, even the lines going all through the pages when they're closed together. And it matches everything in my living room. That's one of the things I like the most about them.
Yeah, they're very attractive books. Today we have a set of 4 beautiful, highly detailed, leather-bound antique Century Dictionaries. These dictionaries would have started coming out in 1889. They're really a substantial set. Well, we have 4 of the 6 volumes. Considering they're 130 years old, basically, they're in fairly good used condition. There is little signs of wear on the corners and the edges, but they're a really gorgeous set. Like the details, the pressings on the leather, the ornate gold work on the cover. They're really quite a spectacular set.
So I've Googled about them and I've tried to find as much as I can. I can't find anything with the same covers. I've always wanted to know more about them, so that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is I'm hoping that you can enlighten me on the history of these, perhaps.
So this series of dictionaries, it was actually a subscription of 24 publications, and you could choose to have them bound into 6 volumes if you preferred. So these are an example of that. This set is considered one of the greatest dictionaries ever produced because of the sheer volume of the content that was within these gorgeous covers. If we look in the front book, we can see that this is volume 1. And as we can see, it is marked 1889. So we know that that's when these dictionaries would have started.
That really ages them. Case, how far back do dictionaries go?
Well, the first printed one was 1604, and it was a compilation of scripture words, and there was 300 words in that edition. There has even been some evidence of them going back into ancient Greece. After the American Revolution, Noah Webster came up with the first American dictionary. So the century dictionaries, they are based on Noah Webster's dictionary, but they really stand out with their design. They also put a lot of effort into making them easier to read. They came up with a whole set of new fonts over the years that made reading easier on the eyes.
So, Case, with all the dictionaries that have come out over the past hundreds of years, what makes these ones stand out?
Well, these ones, they had it all. They had great designers, they had great writers, they packaged it very nicely, they had easy to read fonts. It really was a top-of-the-line product, an all-in-one package. Now, everybody knows the Oxford Dictionary as well. In their first edition, they actually cited this dictionary over 2,000 times. So that's really a testament to the quality of this set. Having access to dictionaries, and especially dictionaries like these, would have really improved literacy throughout the world. Now, you can look up any word in here online and get all kinds of information, but you'll never really get the same sort of experience that you would from a set of books like this.
No, you're right. The experience and the history are one of a kind. I can remember having to have dictionaries and thesaurus and encyclopedias to do my homework when I was younger. I like to reminisce about those times because everything has changed so much. Today, all we have is the computer and everything's right at our fingertips.
Yep, you start typing it and there it appears.
Here it is. Yeah, it's definitely a difference. And of course, with these, you might need a back brace to carry them.
Especially if you're going to carry all 6 copies. Well, thank you, Charlene. I really appreciate you lugging this extremely heavy set into us today. Do you think you'd ever part with them?
That would depend.
Depend on?
Well, what they're worth.
Money talks.
Money talks, yeah.
When I put a value on these, there's several factors that we need to look at. It is a very desirable set. We're missing a couple of volumes, and there is some condition issues, which is to be expected for used dictionaries. So if I'd have to put a price on these 4 volumes, I would put it at about $750.
Okay, that's a little bit less than what I was thinking.
So at that price point, would you be willing to sell them?
I honestly don't think so. I mean, they've been eye candy on my shelf for a long time now. I don't have a problem putting them back up there for, to enjoy myself and for my guests to enjoy them.
I'd be saying exactly the same thing. Thanks for coming on today, Charlene.
Thanks for having me. The history of them is so remarkable because it's something you don't do anymore. Just the nostalgia.
I really enjoyed the dictionary set. There's nothing quite like slowing down and looking at a book. It's a totally different experience.
Coming up on The Past and the Curious.
Nowadays you see plastic and other sorts of toys by the millions, and nothing really compares to Tice's here. Hey, my name's Quentin Boone. I'm here today with my 50s Steiff stuffed dinosaur. So I stumbled upon Tice's at a local thrift store while treasure hunting. I thought he was unique. I could tell he wasn't from this age, and I needed to have it.
Released in 1958, the Tice's T-Rex stuffed dinosaur stands as a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the renowned German plush toy company Steiff. Founded in 1880 by Margareta Steiff, the company gained international acclaim with the creation of the world's first factory-made teddy bear in 1903, setting a precedent for quality and innovation in plush toys. The Tisis T-Rex embodied Steif's dedication to craftsmanship and innovation, emerging during a period when fascination with dinosaurs and the prehistoric world was on the rise, spurred by scientific discoveries and popular culture. Steif, attuned to market trends and children's interests, ventured into creating prehistoric plush toys. Today, this prehistoric plush is more than just a toy. It is a collector's gem that captures a unique moment in the history of toy manufacturing. Its existence reflects Steif's ability to blend artistic design with the evolving interests of the times, making it a cherished piece in the annals of toy history.
Quentin, hi. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell me, what am I looking at right now?
So this little guy's name is Tisis. He's made by the German company Steif, which is a maker of stuffed animals, and he originates from late 50s, 58 or 59.
So how did this dinosaur come into your possession?
Well, with any good treasure hunt that I've been on, I was rummaging through some bins at a local thrift store and stumbled upon him like that. I've always been a thrifty sort of guy, and as the vintage boom has continued to expand, I've jumped in both feet doing some buying and selling of my own. I knew right away from looking at it, it wasn't your, typical modern day sort of stuffed animal. The glass eyes for one thing, the stitching, the movable arms, and of course the little maker's mark kind of button on his backside.
Well, you definitely have a good eye. He is not your run-of-the-mill stuffy that you would see nowadays, and I'm excited to explore it further with you.
Likewise.
Today we are looking at a vintage stuffed dinosaur by Steif. It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex model called Tisis from 1958. He's about 7 inches high, has a bit of a coarse fur on him, and he's been handmade, hand-sewn, and has a really cool airbrush design on him.
Of all the treasures I've stumbled upon in my thrifting and vintage dealings, this guy has really stuck out to me. He's a fan favorite at all the shows I've attended. What else do you know about him?
Well, you are right on the money here, because this is a really rare toy that we have in front of us. It is made by the Steif company from Germany. And this dinosaur would have been made in 1958 and actually discontinued in 1959. So it had a very short run, which makes it a little more collectible.
Excellent.
At the time, there was kind of big dinosaur fever. It was the post-war era, and there were a lot of really big fossil discoveries in North America. So the Steif company thought, let's cash in on this, and they made 3 different versions of the dinosaur.
Okay.
Each had a mini size like this and then kind of a mama version.
Gotcha.
And they were made just for the US market to cash in on that dinosaur craze. There are definitely phases of relevance when it comes to stuffed animals. There are so many crazes that happen, and things get mass-produced at incredible quantities nowadays. So I would say stuffed animals are still really popular, but they really don't make them like they used to, and this one is very special.
So Bridget, what do you know about the origins of the Steif brand?
Well, Margaret Steif started out as a seamstress in the 1880s and was very popular with her clothing designs. Her nephew Richard joined her with the Steif company in 1897. And Richard really had a passion for animals, probably because zoos and circuses were really popular at the time, and he started making stuffed animals. In 1905, Richard actually developed the movable limb system that made Steif toys what they're known for today. In fact, I am dying to pick him up and see how he works. Do you mind?
Please do.
Oh, he's so cute. Hi. Oh my goodness. He is such a cutie.
I told him to keep the biting to a minimum.
Thank you. With all of the archaeological discoveries at the time and everyone talking about dinosaurs, they were definitely pretty ferocious creatures. So for Steif to make a stuffy that little kids are going to warm up to may have been a bit of a task, but I really feel like they nailed it with these adorable glass eyes that are just so cute.
Very, very cute.
This was really a smart way for the Steif company to make sure that the toy was really attractive to kids and make them comfortable having a dinosaur in the home.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's probably more child-friendly than to put the sharp teeth in there.
I totally agree. There really has been an ebb and flow with the popularity of dinosaur toys over the years. You know, a movie comes up that features dinosaurs and all the collectors come out of the woodwork. But a toy like this really stands the test of time over plastic and cheaper versions that would have been made by other companies over the years.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing in this adorable little dinosaur today, Quentin.
My pleasure.
I think you probably have a pretty good idea of what this is worth, but I just want to kind of walk through the value of him.
Please, yeah.
When you look at an item like this, condition is everything, and he's actually in pretty great condition. There are a few wear spots here on his back, as you can see, but his stitching is still fantastic. His arms are in great condition, and I would say, even without his tag, but with the original button on the back, that he would probably go for around $250 to $300.
Right. Yep. That's pretty up there. That's kind of in the ballpark of what I was.
So knowing that price, is this something that you'd be interested in selling?
I would, and I have been interested in selling it pretty well since I acquired it, knowing the significance of it. If you are interested in him or know anybody who might like to own him, I can sign you up for monthly payments.
Oh, I love that. Awesome. Well, I will be sure to come check him out at your next market.
Please do. I look forward to it.
Thanks for coming on the show today, Quentin.
Thanks so much for having me, Bridget. I had a splendid time talking to Bridget and learning more about my piece. I'd like people to see the longevity of those older pieces and the timelessness of the craftsmanship.
I loved seeing Quentin's little dinosaur today. It is one of the cutest stuffed animals from the time period that I've ever come across. I find when you hit stuffed animals or toys from the 1950s, they can really go creepy fast. And this guy was just so cute.
Coming up on The Past and the Curious.
I have to say, I never thought I'd see an interesting chamber pot. Today is the exception.
My name's Glenn DeVoe, and I brought in a chamber pot that came off the steamship Ascania. It originally ended up at my wife's grandparents' home, who lived in West Point, which was right around where the steamship went aground. And thought it would be an interesting item to bring on, but I also wanted to know more about it.
The RMS Ascania was a remarkable testament to British shipbuilding excellence. Launching in 1911, this vessel joined the prestigious Cunard Line Fleet, serving the transatlantic route between Quebec City, Montreal, and Liverpool. The RMS Ascania was a ship that promised new beginnings, carrying eager immigrants to new lives while also providing passage for wealthy travelers. With the onset of World War I, the role completely switches as the vessel carried troops and vital supplies. In the first light of dawn on June 14, 1918, the story of the Ascania drew to a close 20 miles east of Cape Ray, Newfoundland. The damage was severe. The ship's keel was shattered, making any efforts to salvage her impractical. Despite the grim fate of the vessel, there was a note of relief as all crew members were successfully evacuated. With no hope of recovery, the Ascania was declared a total loss, bringing an end to its voyages across the seas.
Good day, Glenn.
Good day.
Thank you for coming in today
I appreciate you having me.
and bringing this giant mug. Can you tell me a bit about it?
Yes, this giant mug is a chamber pot that's been in my wife's family for a very long time. Originally, it belonged to her great-grandmother, which would have been back when the Ascania, I guess, first was shipwrecked in her backyard and somehow came in possession of this, and now we're lucky enough to have it. And I'm amazed at the condition that it remained in all this time.
It certainly is an interesting item, and you're right, the condition is unbelievable.
Yes. One of the reasons why I wanted to share it is to find out more about it, and was hoping you could tell me more.
Well, it's great to see that on the front we have the Cunard Line, which the Ascania was a ship that belonged to the Cunard Group. It is a chamber pot, which was mainly for overnight. The toilet that would have been in the cabin of second and third class passengers. First class passengers would likely have had a flush toilet of some kind. Minton, who made this particular chamber pot, would have made hundreds of thousands or more of these over the years of production. So just having a chamber pot from 1918, not very exciting. But I say the canard line, reference on the front, and the very interesting story of the provenance of this particular chamber pot does add a lot of interest.
I don't know a whole lot about the Cunard Steam Company. Maybe you could fill me in on that.
The Cunard Steamship Company was established in 1840. Samuel Cunard, who started the company, was actually born in Halifax, but lived in England most of his life. The original steamships were mostly used for mail and freight. And as time went on, they realized they had to carry more and more passengers to be competitive with other lines, including the White Star Line, famously, that had the Titanic. So they really worked, and by around 1900 or so, they had a very competitive line of steamships. It's interesting because the Ascania, where this pot came from, made its inaugural voyage in 1911. Once World War I started, Cunard Line supplied 25 ships to the war effort, the Ascania being one of them. The Cunard Lines themselves transported over 1 million troops to the war effort. So 20 of those 25 vessels were either destroyed or disabled by the enemy during World War I. The Ascania had one particularly close call, but somehow survived. And in 1918, just prior to the war ending, in heavy fog, it went aground about 20 miles off of Newfoundland and split in half. So not related to the war effort, but during wartime, it was decommissioned. Both the owners of the ship and Lloyd's, who were the insurers, made a decision that it couldn't be salvaged. Part of the ship is in about 3 meters of water, and the other half or part of the ship is in about 15 meters of water.
There were no lives lost, and I'm thankful for that, and I wouldn't really want to associate that to lost souls at sea.
We can't overstate the importance of these large ships and how they were used in the war effort. It's interesting that this simple thing can relate to such a big story. And this, in a way, would have been so common at the time, but here it sits in wonderful condition, and there's only a few of these Cunard chamber pots known of worldwide. And there would have been tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Glenn, what role does this chamber pot have in your life on the day-to-day?
Right now it sits on top of an armoire with a picture of the Ascania. I really think of the ship. I kind of get a vision of it at sea when I look at it, and we see it every day when we retire to bed.
Glenn, thanks for bringing this very interesting item. Is this something you might think about parting with?
No, I don't think so. We have a hard time parting with anything interesting, but if it has family significance, then no, we'd like to hold on to it and pass it down for generations to come.
You sound pretty convicted to that decision. Do you have an idea what the value might be of this item?
I really don't know, no.
It really is impossible to know until the story is presented to the public. And probably auction would be really the only true way of getting some kind of evaluation of its worth. Normally, a chamber pot ends up on somebody's table with some flowers in it. They bought it at an antique store with a broken handle for $22 or something. This has amazing condition, has a wonderful story, has reference to the Cunard shipping line, which is a very collectible company. In an auction, this chamber pot would fetch at least $500.
Interesting. It's not enough to make me part with it. We'd truly like to keep it in the family. If we ever did part with it, it would be only knowing that it was there for many people to enjoy.
And I totally understand. Thanks for coming on the show today, Glenn.
Thanks for having me. It makes you think of people who have been passed for a long time, so it keeps their memory fresh and alive. And I'd like to keep sharing the story and have more people know about it.
I have to say, I never thought I'd see an interesting chamber pot. Today is the exception. This story is fantastic, and it's the only valuable chamber pot I've ever been up close to.